Hey, what's up everybody? Noor Kid Y here, letting go with Noor. Welcome back to the channel. Today, let's talk about productivity, eh? That's a fun little topic. I'm not gonna lie, I used to think productivity and spirituality weren't really together and they didn't really mesh together well. But I kind of want to explain to you guys how these two things mesh together really well. And when I really had progress with my spirituality, I let go of so many things inside of me, so many beliefs, and so much suppressed emotion that I released all this excess energy inside of me, and it really helped with my productivity. And now, even with this channel and with my comedy, I'm a comedian. If you guys haven't watched me before, like my comedy channel's taken off and it's becoming, and my stand-up's doing really well because I bring this kind of effortless energy to it now because I have so much inside of me that's being released, because I was holding it back and I was so tense before, with all this suppressed emotion inside of me. But now I have this energy, and even these videos, this letting go channel, I'm just releasing stuff so easily now because these topics are just coming to me, and it's coming in almost an effortless way. I wake up in the morning and I just want to write about stuff like this, and it just pours out of me. So it's really beautiful, but that's because there's a spirituality mixed in with my productivity, and that's what I want to talk about because I know all of us, we go through moments of our seasons in our life where we're very productive, and that I've done that before too, where for a while I'm just super productive. I'm just getting business done and like doing what I need to do all the time. And for me, it was always in comedy because that's my goal, and or that's my like main thing in my life, that I was my career that I was always pursuing. And I remember going through moments of like just releasing videos all the time, going to clubs all the time, writing new stuff, booking shows, doing all of the stuff you're supposed to do. And it's just like, it's a career template for a comedian. And I know you guys probably have your career template for whatever goals you have. And you know, it's kind of funny. It's all this outward action, and it's just action, action, action. It's an outward energy, you know, and I've always been spiritual, but sometimes when I'm in that momentum of just outward action, 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 I would sometimes neglect my spiritual life because a part of me thought if I was so spiritual, I would almost lose that desire to be a famous comedian, or lose that desire to be a respected comedian, or I would almost lose the desire to have a partner and start a family, or lose the desire for money, and that would really ruin my goals in the future. And I used to have that, and think about how limiting of a belief that is, because that's just a fear deep-seated in me. And that was especially when I was in those moments of like heavy productivity. And a lot of times I come back to my spiritual life in those cycles because my productivity started to dip, and I needed something to lean on, and I went back to my spiritual roots. But the one thing I wanted to tell you guys is, like, instead of like having just one thing and just productivity or just spirituality, you have to have both. Productivity, it's this outward energy. It's pushing out, it's action, and it's amazing, but you have to balance that out with an inward energy of like really seeing what's inside, seeing what emotions you're suppressing, seeing what your beliefs are, and seeing what your desires are. Why are you being this productive person? What's your goals here? Like, what are they really linked to inside? Because I think for a lot of people, they don't examine why they're doing the things they're doing. So if you really take that second to like, and it's not a second, if you take that if you take those moments to really start examining your internal world, you'll see what your desires are. And then you can really examine them and let go of the ones that don't serve you. And what you're going to be left with is the ones that do serve you. And you're going to be left with what you're really meant for. Because if you asked me 10 years ago why I do comedy, I'll be like, oh, I love the feeling. I want to get money. I want to get women. I had like 20 different things. But now after I've done this like spiritual work and really felt inside of myself and felt all these emotions that I was really holding in myself, that was keeping me down and keeping me tensed and locked up all the time, because I had so much anxiety, I had so much apathy, I had so much limiting beliefs, I had guilt about like not working hard enough, because that's another thing with productivity. It's like you work so hard and then you don't get to exactly where you want to be, and then you have this guilt of like, maybe I didn't work hard enough, and then that guilt like squeezes you and you hold that inside, but you try to be unconscious of it. So you're like, you get into this new wave of productivity where you're just like, all right, now I'm gonna like do action again and just work my way out of it. But if you have all this guilt and all these emotions squeezing you still, even if you do get success out of that productivity, those emotions are still going to be present, and you're still going to be squeezed. You're still going to feel not fulfilled. You're still going to feel like something's missing. So I examined that, and I started seeing these things because I was calming down my nervous system over time. I was taking time out of my day to like sit down, do a little meditation, and observe my inner world and release those emotions. And when you release those emotions, you learn so much about yourself. And then you get to a place where your energy starts getting freed up, because it's no longer tied to these emotions. It's no longer squeezing these emotions tight and holding it in. And once those emotions get released, your energy gets freed. And then it's really easy in those times to start thinking about like what your purpose is. Like, why are you doing what you're doing? And like now when I think about, like, after I release these emotions and these limiting beliefs inside of me, and I got to a real clear spot in my awareness, a clear spot in my mind, and my mind settled, all of a sudden I started thinking, like, what am I doing? Like, why am I here? What's my purpose? And it became very simple. I was like, I want to bring people joy, and I want to teach people stuff. I want to teach people how to get more connected with themselves and with something higher. And I want to bring people joy. And it's that simple. And it becomes so simplified once you let go of all this crap that's inside of you and all this emotion that you're holding in. And now when it's that simple of, I want to teach people, I want to bring people joy, then my whole life gets simplified. And that outward energy of productivity, that gets simplified, because how do I want to teach people? I'm like, hey, I can start this channel. And that's why this channel is pretty new. And it's because I started doing this work, and the idea of this channel just became, I need to do this. And I know it's something I should do. And it like my whole being is pointing me to it. And that's why it's very easy for me to release these videos a lot, because I wake up in the morning and it's just like my energy is just like, yeah, this is what you're going to do. And the ideas come pouring out of me, and it's not too much effort. And then with my comedy, that's how I bring people joy. And that in itself, like, when I sit down and like write my comedy, it becomes a lot easier too, because there's no more of like, I want this or I want that, or this goal or that goal, or like all those things of where I'm going. Now it's just like, hey, I'm here to bring people joy. And I do that by writing comedy. I know I like skits and stand up, all the stuff that I do. And now I can just sit down and do that and let it pour out of me, because it's so simple. There's not 1,000 different things going on inside of me, and I have enough inward awareness to see what's there and why am I doing it. So balance that out, guys, your inward and outward energies. It's a beautiful thing when it becomes balanced out. And the other thing I wanted to say about that is your purpose doesn't need to be linked with productivity. You know, if you guys, I know a lot of people think like, a lot of people might think like, oh, I need to be this, or I'm a failure. I need to be that, but I'm a failure. Like, stop thinking about that. That's another limiting belief, that sometimes that kind of belief will put so much pressure on yourself, so much that it lowers your energy, because that pressure causes anxiety. That pressure comes from suppressed emotion inside of you, most probably, where you might have not felt seen when you were younger. So a part of you when you were younger, you have this emotion stuck inside of you being like, you need to be seen, or you need to be successful, or you're not good enough, kind of thing. That's what I'm talking about. It's like, you got to examine those things. I saw this video and this guy was talking about this movie he saw, and it really kind of hit deep that I want to go and look up this movie, because right now it's not on the it's on the tip of my tongue. I can't think of the name, but he was explaining the movie, and like, the movie's just about this guy, and it's supposed to be about mindfulness, and it's like about this guy who, all he does is, like, for a living, he cleans toilets, and he basically has such a simple life where he goes home, he has his like simple hobbies, he has his garden, he has his friends and family, and it's just as about like how much peace this guy has found in his life. And he has this simple job and simple living, and he just goes through it with so much peace and presence, and his connection with God, or the divine, or whatever you want to call it, just deepens and deepens as the story moves on, and he gets this deeper understanding and deeper satisfaction and fulfillment in life. And that's what I mean, like, when they say like somebody can be in poverty and be so much happier than a wealthy man who seems like he has everything. This is what they mean by that. And that's what I'm saying. When you go and have that inward energy and really examine where your desires are coming from, that's when you can really see, like, do I really want all that huge productive life of where I'm going to have to be working all the time and to get these kind of riches or whatever it is you want? Or do you want to, like, maybe have something a little bit more simpler? Like, what brings you peace? You can start really examining that as soon as you can calm down your nervous system, calm down your mind, and get rid of those limiting beliefs or those suppressed emotions that keep muddying everything. You know, and when you get rid of them, you might see it and you might want to simplify it. I know with my comedy, I completely simplified it, where I used to think like, I need to get on these festivals, I need to start a podcast to like get growth and like follow like other comedians' careers, and then I'll be on, like, I'll have this kind of special on Netflix, you know, all this stuff that you just keep saying to yourself. And then I realize I don't really want that, because it doesn't really resonate with me. And I don't want to start a podcast with comedy where I'm just like kind of talking shit all the time, with like a lot of other comics do, but that's their personality and that's what they like. But personally, like, that's not me. I want to do this. I want to talk about real subjects of like spiritual growth, because that's what I love. I love spiritual growth. And finding that, I simplified my life so much and let go of certain stuff in my certain dreams that I was like, that none of that really meshes with me, you know? I'm doing my comedy because I love it and it brings joy to people, and I know I'm going to have more success in it, but it's going to be on my terms, But and it's going to be, well, like I'm not going to say it's going to be on my terms, because only God knows what happens and what opportunities comes to me. It's going to be from God or the divine or whatever that energy is. But I'll do the comedy the way I want to do it, and I'm coming from a place of bringing people joy. And as long as I keep that energy, I know what's meant to come to me will come to me. And it's the same with this channel. I feel it really in my being that I'm supposed to be doing this channel. And that's because not only do I have that outward motion, of, outward energy of productivity, I have that inward energy of really feeling. And I really can come inside myself and feel this is what I'm meant to do. So please, guys, take a little bit of that inward journey as well. And I'm sure you are if you're watching a video like this. So good luck to you. And I hope you like and subscribe. If you'll leave a comment, all that fun stuff. And I'll see you guys in the future. Peace.